Hi, I'm Senior Grandmaster Jimenez from Contra Kimbo Live. Today is chapter 11 from my book, My Story, Like It or Not. Again, it's chapter 12, and it's on, if you go to Senior Grandmaster, SGM, Grandmaster, and then My Story, Like It or Not, on YouTube, you'll find it. Plus, it'll be on my Facebook, so you'll be able to just click it really easy. And do me a favor, I made a separate channel for this book, so if you guys can kind of hit the like button, or the, not the like button, but the subscribe button. Because I only like 3 subscribers on there. And, I just want to get that up a little bit. But anyway, this chapter is about a karate tournament we went to years and years and years ago. It was called the Vietnamese martial arts tournament, and it was on their New Year's, and it was held in the Santa Clara County Fairgrounds. Now, this is a mistake I made. I should have made an adult decision, but then again, I didn't know this was going to happen. The day of the tournament, of course, Saturday morning, there was 2 tournaments. There was William Kim's in Vallejo, and the Vietnamese tournament in Santa Clara. So I had a few kids, and Grandmaster Baca, he wasn't a Grandmaster then. He was only like 16, and another 16-year-old student with me, and I gave them all a choice. I said, you can go to Vallejo, or we can go to the Vietnamese tournament at the fairgrounds. Of course, they all chose the Vietnamese tournament because of the fairgrounds, and have a fun time after, hang out, do whatever, right? And the year before I had gone, and I took first place in the fighting division, and me and the Vietnamese head guy kind of really got into it at the finals at nighttime. I wound up slamming him and stuff, and then I don't know if there was bad animosity towards that. That kind of filtered into this year. But anyway, long story short, and of course, all my students had taken first the year before. And I had taken first in all the form divisions and that. And so anyway, long story short, we went to the Vietnamese tournament. And we get there, and of course, if you know what the Santa Clara Fairgrounds is, you get these big archways, and you go in, and the tournament was way in the middle of the fairgrounds. And it was during the day, of course, in the morning, so we got there, and it was nice. And I'm realizing, I'm not being prejudiced, but I'm realizing, of course, it was a Vietnamese, their New Year's, it was all Vietnamese. I really didn't see any other people besides Vietnamese. But, I don't care. I was like, well, whatever. So we go to the tournament, and we come in, and it's a medium tournament. It wasn't big, it wasn't small. It was just a small, medium tournament. And the section we had was blocked off with a big cage, from the floor up to the ceiling. And they were playing ping pong on that side, some tournament or whatever they were doing, and it was, of course, all Vietnamese and stuff. I didn't do nothing about it, and as the day went on, of course, my guys started taking first place. And then all of a sudden, these guys, Vietnamese guys, remember, they're only about, 4 feet tall, if that. It was to the point it got funny. They would walk up and start shoulder checking, not me, but like Grandmaster Baca and one of my students and a couple of the small little kids. And then, the small kids, they're like, what's going on? There's kids. So I said, okay, so Gilbert, what should I do? I go, should I smack them back? I said, no. I go, just ignore them. Maybe just because they lost in the tournament, who knows? And the whole time I start noticing that on the cage, the ping pong thing, and I'm not being prejudiced when I say this, they had climbed up the cage, the screen, and they were hanging on there, and they looked like monkeys from the Nolan Zoo, and they were just going like this, shaking the cage, and kind of taunting. So then I thought to myself, well, maybe they're just taunting at the tournament, because the guys were fighting, just everybody. So as the day went by, and we went on, and of course, Gilbert's division was more towards the end of the evening. Of course, it started getting dark, and long story short, it got worse and worse. And then I noticed that those guys that were shaking on the cage, they kept yelling out, "You're dead, motherfucker, wipe this, wipe that." And I'm like, what the hell, So I'm thinking, just stupid, So then Gilbert fought, and Gilbert spanking the guy, no point, no point, no point. So Gilbert, I looked at him and said, "Go ahead." So Gilbert hauled up and blasted the guy, picked him up and just blasted him. He goes, "You guys got that one?" And then, of course, their main guy that I had fought the year before, he came in there and he started talking crap and stuff and kind of caused a little uproar there. So we kind of pulled apart a little bit. And then I noticed it was getting worse and worse and worse. I'm thinking, what the hell? So finally, the promoter, he was half white and half Vietnamese. He come over to me and he saw, "Mr. Jimenez, I need to talk to you." He goes, "And I will get so much trouble if they see me talking to you. So let's go over here." So we went kind of by the bathroom so you couldn't see us and stuff. And I said, "What's going on?" And he goes, "Well, the word's out." And I go, "What do you mean word's out?" And he goes, "You guys aren't going to leave here alive." So I was like, "You're fucking kidding me, right?" I goes, "No way." I go, "You're joking, right?" I go, "You're joking, right?" Because I'd never been in a tournament like that before. And he's all, "Nope." He says, "I'm letting you know." He goes, "Just to prepare." He goes, "You're not going to leave these fairgrounds alive, you your students." And I said, "That's bullshit. I got these little kids." And I go, "That this can't happen." And I'm looking at the guys and they're in the cage and me shaking it, So I'm like, "Well, this is what you do." And I was pretty pissed. I said, "You call the fucking cops right now. I want the police here. I want a police escort out these fairgrounds because these kids are my responsibility." So first of all, he kind of him hard, and I said, "No, I'm not playing. I want you to call." Because we didn't have really cell phones back then. And I was like, "Call. I'm not playing." So I started really pissed. So he did. And there was like 3 cops came. And I was like, "Bullshit." Tell the cops, I go, "You guys aren't going to get us out of here alive. It's just too dangerous. And I have all these kids." And the cop says, "Well, I have 17 bullets, and she has 17 bullets, and he's got 17 bullets. That's a lot of bullets." And I go, "Yeah, well," I go, "and there's like 6 of us, 7 of us. I go, how are you going to, protect us?" He goes, we'll do this." And he said, he goes, "When you get to the arches," he goes, "you'll see the police cars." He goes, "I want you to run like hell and dive in the back of the cop cars." And I'm thinking to myself, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I go, "This is like out of a movie." I go, "This is not even funny, but it's for real." So I'm like, okay. So, it takes a while for the cops to get there, and almost an hour it took them to get there, because I'm sure they didn't want to be there either. And the whole time it got worse and worse and worse. And Grandmaster Woody Sims was there with some of his students. And I didn't realize they were bugging them too. I thought they were okay. They were just out, mainly us because of the year before. So I kind of felt bad, and I'll get to that part at the end. So finally the cops came. Now remember, there's like 6 or 7 of us, myself, the 16 and 17-year-old, and the rest were little kids, 10, 9 years old, 12 years old. Cop goes, "Okay." He goes, "We're going to make a circle." He goes, "One in the back, 2 in the front." He goes, "Don't leave the circle." I go, "I'll fucking leave the circle." Well, I have to admit, the first time in my life, I was actually scared for my students and actually for myself. Because remember, it's pitch black out there, besides the lights from the festivals and stuff. So we start walking out of the thing, and of course they pull their guns out, and they got them just like this, and they're going like this. And it was like, and again, I'm not praying prejudice, but they were like animals. They would run and taunt the police, and the cops would go, "Back off, back off, back off," and then they would back off. They taunt us, back off, all the way across. So then I'm thinking to myself, I mean, you got to picture this. I'm going, oh my God, I'm flinching. I'm thinking they're going to shoot a bullet in there or do something, throw a knife, I don't know, whatever. And let me tell you, that was the longest walk with those 3 cops backing everybody off us. And we got to the fairgrounds, and just like out of a movie, I look up, remember it's dark, and the archers are like this. And here's the police all lined up. There must have been about 10 cars, all with their lights lit. And they had told us when we see the lights, we'll run like hell. It'll give us the go-ahead and dive in the back of the cars. So I said, okay. And so we dove in the back of the cars. I mean, just like you see in the movies. Run and dove, and they took us to a safe place, and then they took us to our cars and stuff. Made sure we were, on the freeway and we were okay. And the part that I feel bad was that I didn't realize they gave Woody Sims a bad time too. I thought he was okay, and he called the next morning. He thought, "What the hell? You guys left me," and I didn't realize, and so I apologize. And again, on this video, I'm going to apologize for leaving him, and his students. But I thought they were going to be okay. I thought it was just us they were after. And supposedly somebody got shot in the leg, running to one of the cars, and so it was just one of the worstest times I ever had in a tournament. Was that night and that day. And I hate to use the word animals, but they were just like animals. Disgusting animals. And like I said, they were only about that tall. All you had to do was smack them once and they'd go flying, but I knew it would cause a huge riot, and we were in the middle of the place we shouldn't be. So to this day, I made the mistake of going to that tournament. And then my biggest mistake was I left Woody there with his students. And I couldn't be more sorry for that. And it wasn't because I was just thinking of ourselves. It was because I figured they weren't bothering him because he didn't say anything to me. So I figured he'd be okay. So what I did is we used to have a tournament promoters meeting. All the tournament promoters once a month would get together and we'd discuss, all the other tournaments for the whole year and who's going to throw what, da-da-da-da. And so that's the only thing I do is I brought it up. And we had the Vietnamese guy come, the guy that told me that they were going to do that at the meeting. And I told the whole story. And they were pretty, all the promoters. I mean, I'm talking about like, Alan Reyes, William Kim was there, all the top promoters that threw tournaments, was there, Palin and all those guys and myself and the list went on, other times it was in there. But we always get together, and they said the same thing. That was bullshit. That Jimenez is part of. Again, the karate tournaments. We were like a big family. We seen most of our. We seen more people from the tournaments we did as our own family. So it was kind of disgusting that I had to go through that, and they were really upset. So they were pretty much banned after that from throwing the karate tournaments, and of course. Nobody else went no more. I think that was the last one because they made a big deal about it. I think the police got involved in everything and stuff. But like I said, the man upstairs was looking up after us that day. And I've been to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of martial arts tournaments. I thought the internationals was bad, in the day in the 70s because it was crazy. You couldn't even go to the bathroom, People were getting beat up, stabbed, whatever, And until this. And if somebody would have told me this story, I would have said, nah, you're full of shit. You're exaggerating. But to live it, and Woody knows, you could talk to Woody, he'd tell you the same thing. It was horrible. It was one of the worst times I had because, like I said, going from point A to point B to those arches, I didn't know if they were going to shoot a bullet in there. But like I said, they had the cops all around us, and we ran like hell. Got in the back of the thing. A lot of the parents, they were pretty upset. Not really at me, but it was upset because it happened. So I learned my lesson, not to go to no more tournaments like that. Of course, they didn't have any more, But, I thought this was a kind of a cute story. Not a cute story. I said that wrong. I shouldn't say that. It was kind of a nice story that you guys can hear what went on, in the past and the karate tournaments and things like that. And like I said, most of the tournaments always run smooth. Very seldom ever you've seen a fight. You mean people might get a little bit heated, but you never really seen a fist fight. It was always the good sportsmanship, and stuff. And even if you lost, some people would get upset, but never a fight. You didn't see anybody out there wailing on each other or parents hitting each other or people threatening like that. So you experience that, you live and learn, Anyway, well, I hope you enjoyed this chapter on the Vietnamese tournament. And I got more coming, and then pretty soon the book will be out. Again, you guys are seeing these chapters on my YouTube channel. So, but when the book comes out, there'll be 50% more on all these videos that I didn't want to put on social media. I only want you reading the book because I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings, really, or bring up names, on this, So keep in mind, and go to the YouTube channel. Click it when you watch the video. Click this and hit subscribe for me. You just, I don't care. I might have to get, 500 people to be subscribed. I just want, 10, 20 people on there because it's a new channel. And, I made it just for you guys to go on there instead of mixing it up with my Contra Kimbo Live feed. Okay, well, I'm Senior Grandmaster Jimenez. This is my story, like it or not. Until next time, I'll see you then.